A judicial split now over the NSA. Yesterday, a federal judge ruling that the agency's massive collection of telephone data is indeed lawful. It's legal. It is not unconstitutional. But this comes a week after another federal judge ruled the opposite way. In the meantime, Republican Congressman Pete King says that the ruling upholding the NSA should put away any legal questions.
This decision puts it in perspective. There are no constitutional violations. The NSA goes to extraordinary lengths to make sure that everything it does is entirely constitutional.
Colonel Cedric Leighton joins us, former NSA Deputy Director, a former Joint Chiefs of Staff Intelligence Officer. Colonel, great to see you. You know, I read the whole opinion. What's very interesting about Judge Pauley's 53-page opinion, that's very long for a district court judge, is that he not only addresses the legal issues, but he eloquently delves into the issues of terrorism, national security, and he appears to appreciate the danger posed by al-Qaeda and others. What do you think?
Absolutely, Greg, and it's great to be with you. The basic opinion from Judge Pauley was almost as if it was written by an intelligence officer, because he looked at every single detail of the way in which the government presented its case, the way in which the government was conducting its operations in the post-9/11 world, and it was also very instructive in that it looked at the constitutional issues in a way that Judge Leon's opinion, that's the previous judge's opinion, had really not done. Leon looked at it more from a constitutional perspective, and I think Judge Pauley looked at it more from an operational perspective.
Sure. And the Fourth Amendment is always a reasonableness test, and that is what Judge William Pauley looked at. And in fact, on the very first page, and I'm sure he intended to put it right there on the first page, Judge Pauley points out that the NSA intercepted 7 calls made by one of the 9/11 hijackers, and then he goes on to argue, page 2, that these attacks could have been stopped on 9/11 had the NSA had the benefit of this metadata collection program. In fact, let me quote from page 2. I'll put it on the screen. The government learned from its mistake and adapted to confront a new enemy, a terror network capable of orchestrating attacks across the world. It launched a number of countermeasures, including a bulk telephony metadata collection program, a wide net that could find and isolate Gossamer contacts among suspected terrorists in an ocean of seemingly disconnected data. He's a judge who kind of gets it, doesn't he?
He does, and the reason he seems to get it is because I think the government, Greg, presented a very good case. They brought basically the evidence to bear. They presented it in such a way that it was understandable, and they also were very clear in their arguments against the ACLU, which was the organization that had submitted the suit against the government in the case that Judge Pauley heard. And in the way they did it, they really looked at the operational exigencies, as we would say, and having been there on 9/11, been at NSA on 9/11, I can tell you NSA really turned on a dime to try to find the terrorists, the 9/11 terrorists, and all the cells that were connected with them in a way that could be done very quickly, very efficiently, and hopefully with an operational component in mind so we could eliminate them.
Let me ask you a real quick one. You know, last week Ed Snowden said, "I won," which is a bit premature. Do you find it ironic that Snowden demands the NSA abide by the Constitution? When it comes to himself, however, Snowden refuses to do so by hiding from the justice system established by our Constitution, which is perhaps why many people call him not only a hypocrite, but a coward. What do you think? We've got 15 seconds.
Well, I tell you, I think he's definitely in the hypocrite and coward department. He has done so much damage to the collection apparatus of the United States that it will cost us millions, if not billions of dollars to fix what he did, and that's very unfortunate.
Colonel, thank you. We'll be right back.